How does this thing work again? What is streaming? How does it even work? I hear it's very profitable. Welcome. We are back. Never mind my horses making love background. I need to get actual backgrounds that are made for the screen size. Oh, what are we working on? What are we doing? Let's see, how do I make this center side? There we go. Thingy. Did a thing. Well. So, lots of changes. Lots and lots of changes have been happening as I slowly start to kind of dial in the playfield and get the shots to flow smooth like I want them to. But I'm getting there. Let me flip it over to the other scene. One sec. There. There's the other scene. Please ignore the mess in my house. Absolute mess. But that's Pinball. That's Homebrew. It's the fun that we have. By we, I mean me. So I'm gonna move over to the table and pop there. Lots of changes. Lots of stuff has changed. I guess we'll start left to right. So left side here, this used to be this same dot here, the same left orbit that turns into a flight ramp thing. And then the Horcrux captive ball mech was actually here in the center position. So since then, I shifted that to the left. The Gringotts ball lock mech, the fork that kind of pops up out of the playfield, that doesn't really currently have a place in the game right now. But it was all for good reason, because what I was trying to do was get shots that seemed to flow more, but not slow the game down too much. So you notice like the left side of my game is further forward on the playfield. So I want this to play a little bit more aggressive and still have flow. And by doing this, by shifting the Horcrux over one spot, and by opening up this shot, that allowed me to do more behind it. So this shot right here, I was able to open that up more, so it, because before it was going to be kind of like a ramp coming in right here, but it was going to be a really steep ramp because it would have had to get over a wire form, and I didn't want to mess with that. So instead, this now has the ability to feed the same flight ramp that the left orbit feeds. Additionally, this little thing here, this piece of metal, I think you can see that from above. This piece of metal here is going to be a pop-up diverter, so that when I want to, I can take a ball out of either this shot or this shot and drop it into the subway. So this will be like the Weasley Burrows and the Order of the Phoenix lock or subway entrance or whatever you want to call it here. So that flows better. And then I've had to make a bunch of changes up here as well. So I've got the main loop from the upper flipper here. This also is a crossing feed down to there. And you can kind of see I've been like sketching out on the play field more with marker. I used to be doing tape everywhere so I could mark what I wanted to change. But I'm getting pretty comfortable with the layout now, where I started just kind of scratching some stuff like up here in red marker. And then like this red circle here is actually shifted over more. That was just me throwing ideas out there on positioning of the willow and the hut. Yeah, so up here there used to be, I believe, 3 shots in this space. 3, something like that. And then there was a scoop here at one point. I can't even remember what it used to be at the beginning. It's already changed so much. Kind of shift this back out of the way so you can kind of see the layout a little bit better. Hopefully y'all can see that. So yeah, what we got now, we've got this upper loop, which feeds back to the upper flipper. You can shoot that repetitively, and that feels really good. I don't have that flipper wired up right now because I only have 2 flippers that I can just directly wire to my power supply. I don't have like the boards and the code and anything yet, so I'm just directly wiring flippers. And I don't have for up here, I don't have a or here, I don't have another flipper mech. Let's see. Van hammer. Anywho, back to it. So yeah, this is feeling really good and repeatable. This shot here actually feels really good. I widened that a little bit just by pushing this rail back like 1/2 inch, and there'll be a post where my finger is. I had to widen this a little bit, and that feels really good now. Here will be the 2-drop Denisi lock, and then a Newton ball right here. And just to the right of that Newton ball is a center turnaround that can feed into the pops area, or it can do a crossing feed over to your left flipper. Or if you shoot through the pops, it back feeds crossing to your right flipper. So that's starting to feel really good. I had to do a little bit of configuring up here to get that to feel like a good shot. I was worried about this center ramp being a little too narrow. But that's actually in a good spot now, where it feels good when you hit that. Right now it rattles a little bit because I've got the heads of screws sticking up. So it'll feel a lot better once I have an actual ramp built instead of just piecing it together. To the right of that will be a pop bumper, and then there's that through the pops shot. There's another pop bumper here, and then a slingshot will be kind of guarding back here, and you can drain out the right side there. So a whole lot of changes up there, but it's getting to a place where it starts to shoot pretty nice. One other thing to note with this center turnaround, right now it's a solid piece of metal, but there will actually be a diverter so that this center turnaround can sometimes also feed the upper flipper. So that gives me the ability to feed the upper flipper from the lower right by hitting that center turnaround. Or I can feed the upper flipper from the left by hitting this turnaround back here behind the right ramp. So I wanted my upper flipper to be accessible from both flippers, and that does a good job of that. Yeah, so what else has changed a little bit? So Hagrid's hut is still this round piece of tape. Originally the intent was to have a rotating bank of targets that opens up a shot out here, like a right orbit shot. But in order to get my center feeling better and shooting better, I needed to kind of push this out a little bit. And by turning this right orbit into something different, that afforded me the ability to change this whole center portion up a little. So you've got an under the flipper shot here. That will be your Forbidden Forest. And there will still be a bank of 4 targets here that represent the front of the hut. But when you shoot under the flipper, it'll loop in behind it and cross out here and do stuff. So that'll just give it a place to drain out of if you shoot this under the flipper shot. Additionally, in the center of this roll of tape will be a saucer that can grab your ball and shoot it up into a wire form to the top of Hagrid's hut. So this is currently not planned to be a rotating mech anymore. It'll just have a saucer in the middle of it behind a bank of targets. And if I can, at one point, make it something that rotates where you can open that shot up from the front with the saucer. I'm gonna try to do that, but right now, no guarantees on that. That puts the shooter lane used to be a crossing shot that fed into this upper orbit loop thing. That now will just be a straight plunge that drops into the loop this way. So there's that. The crossing shot is now an inset one lane, but it still feeds really nice. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, that about kind of sums up the changes that I made. So if anyone has questions, feel free to ask. But so what I kind of wanted to work on now, this left target that guards the right ramp, I'm gonna push that back about a target width, just to give a little bit more depth to this turnaround shot here. So it's not as sharp of a shot into there. I mean, it's hittable right now, but I just want to make it a little bit more. So I can get away with pushing that target back and putting a little slight angle to the entrance ramp here. That'll work fine. So I guess let me go grab the saw and we'll cut that chunk out of there. I hate Frankensteining stuff, but at this point, this is the first version of the Whitewood, and I've done a whole lot of drilling and stuff to change stuff up. There. A little bit more of a hole. Let's clean up the back corner here. Alright. I've done a lot of blowing with sawdust. Do I have all the balls off the top? Maybe. And there's just one stuck here that I'll get out when I flip it. And okay. Oh, there's a piece of metal thing there. Forgot that I had that. Nice. Be careful, my wires right now. Alright, that ball is out. Hey, there's a post there. All kinds of stuff. I don't know what else just fell off. All kinds of stuff. Oh, the flipper. Okay. So I got this stand-up target. Grab some booze. And we'll just kind of screw that in place for now. And then we'll put a screw in the other hole. That'll just help keep it straight. Alright. There, that is now screwed in place. So we'll flip it back over. That. All right. Not bad. I might push this other target back eventually. But right now, just for the purposes of testing, I want that left target pushed back. Alright. Alright, what fell out of here when I flipped it? Got the ball and the upper flipper. Okay. So I can plop the balls in and kind of level it. Then we'll power it on and flip it a little bit. Might be loud, so I apologize. A little loud. If that's ear piercingly loud, I apologize. Let me know if it is. That's one thing too, is I gotta adjust that the right sling. I gotta move that middle back post up a little bit so that the feed is clean. So there's that crossing shot, the reverse of it. There's that dangerous Horcrux. Try to shoot that. Try to shoot that shot. You can see that crossing shot. That's not it. Don't mind the post I put in there. Pull that out. There's a little bit of some combo action. The hut. I wish I had the upper flipper powered so you could see it do its thing. Let's see. I'm gonna try to hit that turnaround behind the right ramp. Wrong way. That crossing shot feels so good when you can get like combos off of it. That would be in the pop bumper area up there. Stuck. Scoop. Get out of there. little bit of a tilt on my playfield. Scoop. There we go. I'll make it so it's less speedy coming out of that right turn around. I'm thinking of putting in a either a one-way gate there that kind of edges it over towards the rail, or a an up post to kind of pause the ball and give you a moment to take a shot. That's 3 balls in that scoop. You can almost hit that center ramp off of the left flipper too. But that wouldn't be the intention. Get out of there. Some of those look like they kind of glance something and go down the middle. It's because I have a piece of plexiglass in here to cover up some of the holes. And it catches the edge of that sometimes and it'll just go right down the middle. Some of the shots that cross feed back out of the pops that look like they would go down the middle would actually trigger this pop bumper here. So that wouldn't be too much of a concern. Got it. Sure like those targets by the right ramp. Whoop. I hit that piece of plastic. There goes another one. Yeah, there. So many. We got. My vision isn't that good. Turbo, what's up? How you doing, man? Just playing with the Whitewood. Here's that center ramp. Whoop. I can't wait till I actually get some ramps in here. I feel like I've got pretty good flow going on without the ramps, which is good. I did recover from MGC. It was an adventure. Luckily, the train ride home didn't hit any cars or anything. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's good seeing everyone again. I always enjoy it. It's my second year going, but I'll keep going every year. It's just fun seeing people and whatnot. Yeah, I'm surprised. This is the first time on a train that it didn't crash into something or somebody died. So we're doing better. Building a pinball machine is not as easy as people think. It's crazy, like, how changing the location of a post by like 1/8 of an inch can make the world of difference on how something shoots. I found that quite often. Which is especially true for like that area in the back there with the center ramp and the turnaround behind it. It's like I initially had a post out further, kind of here, which, you know, you think would make sense. Oh, we'll just have the shot entrances all lined up. But no, like, because this shot here is slightly to the left, by pushing that center wall of the left wall of the center ramp back a little bit, really opened up this shot here. So that feels a lot better to hit now. Center ramp feels good enough. It's got some screws that mess with the ball when you shoot it right now, but once I actually build a real ramp. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. I amaze myself sometimes. Yeah. This loop here, shifting this post out, I think I moved that like 3/8 of an inch. Made the world of difference on the repeatability of this loop. It's just crazy. Like a little thing makes a world of difference. But I'm getting very close to where I can actually create Whitewood 2.0 with all the changes I've made to it. But yeah, all kinds of fun. Lots of bending metal. Or that one in between there, the left wall of the ramp, will have a snubber rubber on it. I wish I could just get hired at JJP. I am going to definitely take it to shows. My goal is to have this at Expo in October. So I've got a lot of work to do before then. But I think I'm finally to a point now where I have a Whitewood that shoots decent. And I can finalize that and cut out the new version of the Whitewood. And then start working on wiring and code. And spend the next 6 months doing all that. New. That's jumping up and hitting something. That's the other tough part about this. Is since this is Whitewood version 1 and I've changed so much crap on here, there's a bunch of holes where things used to be and I've covered it up with tape. So whenever the ball goes over that hole, it jumps. So I have a lot of shots that are kind of hard to test, but I've got a good feel for them now. But like that center turnaround shot especially, there used to be a scoop there. Yep, and it just keeps jumping now. Also, the other thing I need to adjust is my flipper gap. That's how I'm gonna fix jumping. Just lay more stuff over top of it. There we go. Nope. Nope. Where'd that go? I got stuck back there. Nope. So many jumping balls. Hey, they just get stuck everywhere. need to mess with that shot there. My anti-jump measures are starting to ride up. Yep, buddy's settled in. He's laying on the couch right now. Thanks, Turbo. Yeah, it's that was one of the shots, like the first shots I had in the game, like a year ago, was having that crossing orbit shot that's a fast feed to your flipper, and it used to be set over one more lane, and my shooter lane actually was a crossing shot as well. That's potentially changing into what I have mocked up here, where I have it feed into this lane here. And the one thing you can't really see, where's my marker? So kind of there-ish. Draw a circle around it. So that second circle there is the Whomping Willowmac. So that's kind of morphing as well. That's just gonna be two posts mounted to a disc that I can either power or let freely spin, and there'll be a target where these two mini posts are that'll activate the powered spin, so it kind of acts as like a little pop bumper type of thing, which can be quite messy if you're trying to keep your ball alive. I also gotta move this post on the sling up a little bit so that it feeds clean across. Stuck ball. Yeah, they'll feed a lot better once I get the second version of the Whitewood cut. And then the left orbit, right now I just have it where the diverter's up, but that'll feed a ramp actually. So that can also cross feed like that. There we go. So that'll take some dialing in. And then you imagine like off of the upper flipper shooting that same shot in reverse. Now it's coming out to your left orbit. So I kind of want the possibilities to be pretty much any shot can do many things. That's kind of the theme here. So I'll take some fine tuning to get to that point, but. And that feed out of there will also take some fine tuning because I want it to like pretzel loop and cross from flipper to flipper. Like there. Wish it didn't jump up so much. Another one stuck up in there. So that center ramp feels like it's in a good spot. That'll be a target there. Just the right turnaround. Center ramp. Just a little glance onto the center ramp. That left turnaround feels good too when you hit it. It's a little hard to line up shots when you're standing at this height in comparison to the playfield. And that'll be better too. Right now I just got a rail kind of roughed in there to prove the shot works. Nope. Stuck on something. Uh-oh. Losing balls everywhere. And get stuck there. Ooh. Alright, let's unplug it. Ugh. There's some gameplay. A little bit of gameplay for you. Go back to my computer. All right. So, what I've been doing is kind of working at updating my file with all the changes. You can kind of see like the blue lines representing some of the rails. Getting those mocked up, making sure that the clearances are good around, like this left one here is the left side of that center ramp. So making sure there's enough space around the corner of it for any kind of rattles. So you got this part right here. That will be the diverter. You can see when it's diverting, it's positioned kind of like that. Ignore this buck back here. It's actually where this blue square is now. So that's shifted over. My drop target has shifted over. My slingshot has shifted over. You can see I got my pop bumpers drawn in here, and with that was making sure that so like this line here is the kind of the line. Kind of the line defining the shot. So this outer black circle is the skirt, and then the inner black circle is the body, and then all my blue circles are the holes that gotta be drilled through my right turnaround. You can see that right here is where that one target will be, and then the rail will kind of look like that. I pushed this target back at the start of stream to try that out, see if it makes much difference. It kind of does. By much difference, I mean opening up this shot for the turnaround. So that kind of does. I might move this one back as well, just so it doesn't look so funky. And that shouldn't affect the shot in that orbit. And over here on the left side, you got a stand-up target, and then captive ball, well, Newton ball. And then this right here is Denisi lock with drop targets. And then I'll sense that I have a ball captured here with a rollover switch. Just back here is the entrance for the Quidditch ball lock. I can grab it out of that back orbit with this magnet and drop it in. This here is that diverter that I was talking about. That'll pop up. And that seems to work fairly decent. And you can see here with that Horcrux shifted over. I've got the sketch all reconfigured for that as well. I need to cut out this area a little bit better. And then in this shot right here will be a drop ramp that can feed this ramp assembly here up into the sorting hat. There's a ramp right back here that also feeds the sorting hat, and then this ramp here feeds the sorting hat. This ramp, when the sorting hat is in a certain state, can backfeed this ramp, and it'll travel along here and here. And then you can see right here is like a flipper. That would be for the Hogwarts upper playfield. And then that'll dump into a wire form that kind of follows that line down to there. So, go back into these sketches that I was working on. This is definitely not the sketch that I clicked on to open. Nice work, Fusion. That it? There we go. Here's a nice mess. I forget what I was working on. So that's kind of good there. I was working on my rails and defining the mounting points. So like this tab here, and then this tab here. And I was gonna put one kind of center. Try to figure out where the center of this arc is. Yeah, it seems like it's where that pop bumper is, doesn't it? This would help if I didn't have all these in one one sketch. That doesn't seem right. Well, that is a tangent point, so I should be able to... That seems to be that one, doesn't it? Go on. Fusion is bogged down. What I'm doing with these lines is figuring out the angle of this arc. Which is 97 degrees. So, what I'll do is just draw a line like that. And then find that angle. Come on. $97 divided by 2. That's the halfway point around the arc. Now, how wide do I want that locator tab to be? Probably like 3/4 of an inch. I'll just do 8s that direction. You know what I should be doing? Oh, I hate waiting for all this. It's so annoying. One of these days I'm gonna sit here and clean up this file. So like, export every single component of it. And then I'll re-import all of it into a new file without all of like the history. So I'm kind of at the point now where I'm just like moving stuff around a little bit and modifying. I've learned a lot the first go around here using So the reason why I'm drawing these lines back to the center is so that when I go to create the flat pattern for this, it doesn't have errors And in theory, this should work. In theory. And then... what, like... 3/16" tab, maybe? Three-sixteenths. And repeat that process. This will all make sense eventually. There's the last line. And convert these to construction. I can trim some stuff. Okay. Alright. That'll give me like a like a locator tab thing. And then I'll draw a oh, those were a little bit too wide. I want my tab to be 3/16. So I should have spaced these at I don't think those stayed linear. So let's see, can I make that collinear with center point? No. I just want that to coincident center point. I don't know if that worked. I'm gonna just redraw these two lines. Okay, and then we'll trim again. And I'll trim this back as far as I can here. And we'll see what it does for constraints to keep that in line the way that I want it. Oh, cat is fun. Never even put constraints on them. Maybe all that was pointless. Oh well. Now I've got that ready to go. Once this finishes, that line has no need to be there. Don't really need that line anymore. And I probably don't need this circle either. That was just to make sure I had proper clearance. Alright, so that's ready for extrusion. This one here. That's good there. That'll be a spade bolt. This side here, need to do a tab for. So the 1/4 inch line is for the center point of my holes. So slow. And then this will be 1/4 inch plus 3/16 for the back edge of my tab. And we'll close in the tab. And then I'll also offset the edges 3/16. That'll be the center point for those holes. And this accounts for the thickness of the sheet metal. So any take up when you're bending this tab, and that leaves enough room for the screw heads. And do a 3/16 hole. Come on. You know you want to do it. And the other one.
I'd rather try and accomplish something great and fail than try to accomplish nothing and fully succeed. If there's one
okay. And this is the hole for the lock. That should be fine there. Leave this and into the back edge of that. Okay. And then can I drag this around? That I can. So that center circle is the diameter of the ball. Alright, this is the ball. This is the magnet core. This is the magnet diameter. So that's good where that's at. That takes care of those, that, this one. This one will have to be, so I've got room here. This is a 1.5 inch offset from the edge of the rail. What I'll do here is put a nice flat tab. And that'll give me the ability to do a 90-degree mounting tab. And then I'm going to have to do a spade bolt at one end. And probably a locator tab in the center of the curve. It's really annoying how long it takes just to commit a line. Let's see. Just trim that back. See how long this is. About 5/8. So what I will do, I'll give myself enough room for, I believe, 3/8. Yep. And the reason I'm doing that is because I need room. Can't do a 90-degree tab here because I risk a ball getting stuck on the tab. Okay. So this is going to be a spade bolt at this end as well. We'll extend this all the way to there. And then that. And that. That there anymore. And then in the center back here, I'll just do hole for the spade bolt. Now I'm thinking about it, I do want that one line. I need this tab to be a little bit longer than the rest of the rail, or taller, deeper, whatever. And then through here, we'll have to do this the fun way. Where do I want the center of that to be? Probably right in between the body of the pop bumper and the factory target hole. Probably there-ish. Just making sure that that's the center of the thing. Okay, and then same thing, so 3/8 right there. And then 3/8 again. Find where that intersects there. And then just draw this back to the center point. That would be the tab that extends down towards the playfield. I'll probably do one kind of about there-ish. So we'll do a halfway point between the two. Doesn't have to be perfect, but has to be perfect enough. So there's the center of that. And okay, and then right up to the midpoint there. I can delete that line. Extend this into the arc. There we go. Okay. Same thing here. 3/8 X there. And I'm making these tabs approximately 3/4 width, just to give me enough room to drill a hole for the spade bolt. This one, I'll probably do a spade bolt on this one too. Just because I'll need that extra strength at the back of that arc there, as opposed to just like a locator tab. So I don't need to draw the locator tab, which is nice. And turn these into construction lines. And then trimming. Rid of all the extra stuff that I don't need. And that to construction. Alright. So this one is going to be 2 spade bolts, 3 spade bolts. So let's just draw the hole for the spade bolt as well. Same over here.
Feels like I'm caught up in a trance. Can come down all night. The city never stood a chance. With you by my side.
Alright. That rail is done.
So don't second guess. Just take a chance. I feel the rails or walls for my center ramp. I'll just leave the profile there for now. Those are gonna take a little bit more configuring, I think. Well, I suppose I can do the holes for the spade bolts. What's up, board dog? Slowly making progress. Lots of changes, tons of changes. The earlier part of the stream I was just kind of flipping it so you could see what I was doing. You can see it there in the background. But now I'm kind of committing a lot of those changes to CAD. So I can cut the second Whitewood out. What I will do, I'll do the tab for this one. That is the center line for the holes. How you doing tonight, board dog? Hanging in there? It's the weekend for me now. My company gives me Friday, Monday off, which is nice. So I get a nice long weekend. Wonderful weekend for working on pin, heck yeah. Thinking the tab for this wall, I'll stop right where the body of the pop bumper is. That should give me plenty of room for at least 3, maybe 4 screws in here to really make sure this wall is secured in place. The rest is going to be up behind the pop bumper. Oh, I can do one here too. Nice.
set this in. Oh yeah. Got room for a mounting tab there. On the back edge of all this too. Will be my center point for the hole. So slow. There. Okay. Then we'll just offset this 3/16 for a hole. We'll do the same at the other end. Put in the holes. I don't know if this needs to go back as far as I have it. Probably get away with it being I'll just have it cut off. Let's see, what is the angle between these? .8 degrees. So half of that would be 3.4, so if I come to that would maybe, I don't know what I'm doing. Full of it. Alright, I know what I need to do. All over the place. Delete that. So much waiting for fusion. Okay, that's right there. That, in theory, should be linear with, well, alright. Circle from here, here, and that'll tell me where I need to cut the other wall back to. Come on, there it goes. Go, can delete the circle now. No need for that. Delete these lines. Okay. Then we'll just extend this all the way out to the back edge of the wall. Oh, it takes forever. There. That should be perpendicular to that already. And we'll do one in the center. The center ramp should be secured really well. Okay. Pull down here. Okay, so that that right wall of the center ramp is done, and I think what I'll do with this left wall, just probably 2 spade bolts should be plenty, because they'll be attached to the rest of the ramp too, I believe. Let's just offset this in. Make this 3/8. Maybe a quarter. We'll do a quarter. Same with this back one. 1/4 inch. And then do our holes for the spade bolts. I don't think I need more than 2. Sure. Okay. Don't really need to draw these, but I want it to show. And what the shape of that ramp looks like. Take forever. There we go. Need to figure out when I do my flat pattern for this. How long? It needs to be. This will be one where trying to do a sheet metal flat pattern for a 180 ramp with a flared bottom. It's gonna be a little difficult. Corin! What's going on? Hope you're doing alright, my friend. I still gotta ship that thingy. Been slacking on my shipping skills. Or just lazy. Hey. Length is 3.05. Uh-oh, annual pass is going back on sale on April 20th. Oh man. Annual passes. So, is that like you can just come any time of day, any time of night, any day of the year? Is that what that is? If so, it's pretty awesome. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. Ooh. Well, that's a pretty good deal. I'd do that if I lived close to it. It'd be awesome. I live close enough to Cedar Point where I could get like an annual pass and it would pay for itself after a few visits. It's still like a 4-hour drive, but not too shabby. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I have like sketching up what the ramp would look like from the side. And like that. Yeah, Cedar Point's a pretty dang good deal. Yep. I miss Cedar Point. It's been a while since I've been. I probably didn't trim that. Maybe I did. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Designing pinball is super easy. I don't know what I'm doing. And like that. And like the side profile of the left wall. Wally. do need to offset one of the arcs. I don't know how far I need to offset it. Yeah, 1/16 of an inch. Sounds yeah. That way when I do like the tabs to make sure my 180 curve is held in place, I've got enough room. And we'll break that. And convert that. Beautiful. Hey, thanks for following kineticist.co. I nailed it the first time. Hope you're doing alright. I'm just working on a pinball machine type thing. Super easy, everyone can do this. Figure out if I do like my groove for middle portion. Probably need like a millimeter of clearance so it can pass through there. Should be plenty, I think. Yeah. So if I do this 0.5 millimeters the other direction, this 0.5 millimeters that direction. Then when I make my tabs, I'll have enough. How wide is the back here? 1.25. Okay. And I did, what, 1/4 inch in for my fade bolt holes. So that'll be for that. I don't know if I need any tabs through here. Probably wouldn't hurt. So I'll just put that groove there just in case I need to. Takes forever. Okay. So if I do put tabs on the left side of that wall, I'll do it. How tall is this wall? 1.5-ish. That should be fine. Okay. So if I do tabs like every trees, like I'll need one up here-ish. I don't know how far back I want to set that. Also, I want this to extend like an inch. So that'll be the the ramp portion. I'll extend it flat as it gets to the top part here. That. I need to something kind of like that. Time will tell. For now, I'm just kind of roughly sketching out what this ramp would look like. And that's just for the left wall. That right wall extends forward. That far. I hate that. Sometimes when I paste, it auto-completes. That, okay. The right wall would come forward kind of like that. The right wall would have some tabs in it. I don't know how that happened. do the same thing up here? 1.10. 1.10. Oh, I must have drawn that at an angle. I did. Okay. Thinking. Over for this thing. There we go. Okay. White is my bottom. .5. I can get away with come on. Whole lot of hurry up and wait for this stupid sketch. There we go. So I can get away with 1.25 inches wide whole way. Well, no, because it's got a... Just thinking. I'll have to think on that ramp design a little bit. Trying to think how send can bend the flare at the bottom, but maintain the top. Okay, so that'll take some planning. How that's gonna work out. But for now, I got the rails figured out. The ramp will take some work. Alright. Halfway tempted to push this back as well. Let's do it. Why not? That shouldn't change the entrance here. We'll just make my ramp a little steeper, possibly. I'll make that seem better. Okay. So I've got that one there, and I've got the tab up here done. I've got the tab for this done. And this is gonna need some spade bolts. Had to find the center of that arc. Do the spade bolts for this. I almost kind of want some adjustability here, though. And I have... I can add a tab on the end of it. I think. Not really. The tab's gonna stick out over into this orbit here. I don't want that. But I want adjustability. Think on that. Alright, where... There it is. So hard to find the center of these arcs. Two there. Okay. Now where do I want my spade bolts? That should be good through there. Probably one about center of that arc. One at the end. 3 of them. So, center. And I said I want one at the end. I'll do 2 based off of this diameter. Then this through. Okay. And then, what was I doing for those gates? Oh, Mom. I feel like there's probably a better way to do this. But this is the only way I can figure out to do it without... to where I can create flat patterns without a problem. So who knows? For now, for my purposes, this will do fine enough. That's one. We'll do another. Oops. Sure, this is nice and entertaining. Sketching out sheet metal tabs. Hope everyone's having a good Thursday. Nearly to the weekend. I am at the weekend, but I know not everyone has tomorrow off. Come on, computer. You can do it. Okay, there's that tab, and then there. Trimming. Okay. All I need. And then we'll do a tab at the end here. Same story. Making it 3/4 of an inch in total width, and then the hole for the spade bolt will be centered on that. Before the next time I stream, I'm gonna make it a goal to get this file cleaned up so things go faster. Right now it's a pain in the butt. It's going to be a massive undertaking to clean up this file as well. I'm going to have to basically export every single component and then import them all into a new file without any of the timeline history, or really link them all in a new file without any timeline history. That'll help speed it up a ton, I think. Okay. Here. Need this line either. And then we'll do holes for the spade bolts. And I'm using the offset spade bolts. Where the spade bit of it is off center. Last one. Sure that I turned everything else to construction lines. Yep. Okay, so that is that rail. This one. This one is going to be like a diverter. That pops up. That is part of that diverter. Okay. Not gonna worry about that too much right now. This part, I'm gonna have a post here. I need to design this rail so that I can attach it to that post. These lines are from old design. What are those? Gotta wait forever for it to delete. Okay. That line is also old. This one. I believe this one is also. Okay. The other thing I need to figure out is for the drop ramp where that tab is going to mount over here somewhere. I mean, I've got plenty of room here. Let's see. Offset. Ah. Oh, not that one. No. I've got all kinds of space back in here to put mounting tabs. I'm not too worried about that. Guess I'll worry about that later. Most important thing is for the straight portion of this rail, it needs to be pretty dialed in. Don't know what that post used to be for. That's still gonna be there. That is the upper playfield mounting post, so that will still be there. So let's do a project of that. Then we'll just make sure there's enough space around it. Then we'll cut the tab short. Jeez. I can't stand waiting for all this. Bothers me so much. Alright, we're gonna lock down those two circles. Then we're gonna tangent these lines to them.
Maybe it's the way that we feel. Everything around us unreal. Spin around and round
Okay.
as we found. Melodies
That gives that post room.
Maybe it's the way that we feel.
I could probably do
Around us unreal.
2 screws there.
Spin around and round, yes, we found.
And
Melodies inside us collide.
on the other side of that post, do some more. Another tab. And I gotta have a top tab that sits on top of the other post. do a bottom tab there. And then need clearance, so we'll fudge in 2 times the thickness of the sheet metal. Top tab. That'll extend out on top of this post. And then this top tab. Why won't it let me offset? It's so annoying. I know why. Okay, so this needs to be that to account for the take up on the bend. Like that. And then just extend this out here. Trim that. And and that.
Can somebody come and rescue me? I am not afraid to be who I want to be.
This will be the top tab that folds over and mounts on top of the and it folds over like that. This is underneath. And then on this the offset. That'll be where that mounting screw goes.
This is a shock just to me and you. And if we ever go together again, I wanna promise that we
And from here,
so I am not free to be whoever I want to be.
that hole
Can somebody come?
will go there.
Can somebody come in? Can someone come and rescue me? I'm not afraid to be who I want to be.
And a hole there.
Can
So the straight portion of this rail will mount in 4 places because the angle is very critical. Indeed, I want to make sure that that's pretty well set where it's at. It's also going to take a lot of beating from the upper flipper pounding in on this. just add the holes for this.
Can somebody set me free? Can somebody set me free?
Okay. That should be pretty well secured. I think with that, I'm gonna say I made some good progress today and grab some dinner. So for those of you that hung out and watched me do a bunch of boring stuff, thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna try to get on a regular schedule of streaming just to keep the updates flowing. And like, I'm constantly working on it, but it's effort to stream. So I'm gonna just try to make a better habit of streaming as I make more progress here. And yeah, so thank you for joining tonight. Let me see who might be out there to raid. We'll head over to Buffalo Pinball. Sweet. Head on over. Looks like he is playing The Walking Dead. So should be a good stream. They always do great work. And I will catch y'all on the next one. Yeah.